rampage. Enemy triple kill. Enemy rampage. Enemy dominated.
하야부사 산조.
Good day guys, nice to have you here. This game was very stressful because we had a couple of trollers in our team.
Oh snap.
Bane and Alucard were duos, and Bane initially equipped Retribution, which I was more than willing to allow since Bane can become a very dangerous jungler if played properly. At the very last moment though, Bane changed his spell, which didn't give me enough time to change my spell from Execute to Retribution. This negatively impacted our early game economy since all of us had to farm on the lanes instead of having a jungler. Eventually our team was on the verge of losing, which is why I decided that this is the best time for me to play Hayabusa as a bruiser. Stay tuned, for I will discuss the itemization, emblem configuration, and strategies I had in mind in this game, which ultimately gave us the victory despite the odds being against us. Before we continue though, I want to give my shoutouts to Arbizaki. Thank you for supporting the channel. You're awesome. Also, special shoutouts to Revise. This is Jackra's JT's second and newest channel, which is dedicated to Amon. So to all Amon players out there, if you want to hone your skills further, subscribe to this mythical glorious buddy of mine and get yourself more stars and points in your ranked games. I'll leave his channel link on the description below. Make sure to check him out. The emblem I used for this game is High and Dry, which is probably one of the best, if not the best emblem for Hayabusa. In addition to that, this emblem will receive a buff on the future patch, so you better watch out for that. For the spell, as I mentioned earlier, Hayabusa works well with either Execute or Retribution. I however strongly recommend Retribution since Hayabusa is an amazing invader and has a kit perfect for stealing of objectives. As you might have already observed, I got War Axe first. This fits the bruiser build perfectly since you'll be able to max out its stacks easily due to the higher survivability rating of this build. In addition to that, it works perfectly well with Hayabusa's passive. I mean, who doesn't want additional damage penetration, right? I got Tough Boots next, which is, believe it or not, plays a vital role on the bruiser build, especially when you are playing against Selena. While I am very confident, as in extremely confident, with my ability to dodge her skill, still, I don't want to risk it. Besides, they have a lot of heroes that deal magic damage. When playing against the odds, I suggest on building items according to the situation. Since we have two troll teammates, I always check who were snowballing from the enemy team, and at that moment it was Kagura. To make matters worse, Selena was doing pretty well. Some players probably would have invested on a Tina shield. However, Kagura is a combo mage that works best when dealing multiple magic damage. In addition to that, Gushan is also part of their team, which technically deals multiple magic damage using his knives. This means it is super easy to max out Radiant Armor's magic resistance stacks, thus making it more effective than a Tina shield in this situation. Plus, that HP regeneration will come in handy since I foresaw that this match will be a game of chess, and whoever can read the lanes better and minimap better will win the game. Thus, it's important for me to spend as much time as I can on the lanes. At this point, it's pretty obvious that the enemy team is enjoying tearing us apart. Check the minimap and find out where the enemies are, and if they are far from you, take advantage of that and push. Even if you are unable to damage the turret, let your minions do that for you. Just help build up your minion waves by clearing the enemy team's minion waves. Immortality is extremely good on Hayabusa since unlike other heroes, he has an amazing escape mechanism because of his second skill. This means in case you die, the chances of survival is still high due to your ability to dash out and blink upon getting resurrected. Now, before people start calling me names, it is true that I am an awful Hayabusa player compared to those that main him. Good news is, I am good with everything else. What I'm trying to say is, even if the odds are against you, and even if you have little experience with other heroes, as long as you have good map awareness, good macro management, you know who's strong and weak in both teams, and you know what items work best against your enemies, the chances of winning is still fairly high, as long as you are making the right decisions.
Has a silver lining.
Initiate retreat.
I hope at this point you are seeing the potential of Bruiser Hayabusa. Look at how insignificant their damages were. Despite that, he is still able to deal decent damage. I decided to get Athena's shield still in order for me to resist more magic damage. While it's true that Hanabi is powerful on the late game, but she doesn't have the right kit to stop me. In other words, she is not a threat at all.
Shit's weak.
And now the Deus Ex Machina of our build, Blade of Despair. It's very important that you get Blade of Despair for this build since this is not as powerful as the typical build damage wise. Get Blade of Despair as your third item only if you are snowballing. But if your team is behind and you don't have firm footing on the game, better get this either on the mid or late game.
Into a thoroughfare.
This is why you should never let your own power devour you. Our enemies were extremely confident that they will win the game. Huge mistake! Because of that, I was able to complete my strategy. Now the only thing we have to do is find the perfect timing wherein we can use this gap on their defense in order to win the game.
Will pierce you. In the shadows,
Attack the
I
Lord.
seek light.
You have slain an enemy.
The shadows will pierce you.
Double kill. Ally has been slain. Triple kill.
Since the Lord will attack the bottom lane, it's important that I push the top lane in order to gain better map control. This will make it more challenging for the enemies to defend since both lanes are distant from each other. that concludes our game guide for today. If you guys have any other recommendations, let us know on the comment section below, especially for those who can play Hayabusa extremely well. And if you guys haven't yet, don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe. Stay safe everyone. Peace.